Hi, welcome to the TMC Newsroom. I'm Erik Linask, and I'm here with Crossfire Media's Carl Ford. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you, Erik.
Hey, you know, we're all looking forward to this upcoming February 2nd to 4th down in Miami for the recently announced 4G Wireless Evolution event. And you're a big part of that with Crossfire. What's the conference program looking like for the event?
Well, it's actually kind of interesting because we've got 2 rooms that we've got for 3 days. So what we're doing is we've basically got 6 different tracks going on, basically 2 for each day. We're going to have a lot of regulation stuff going on because that's always hot, and with the administration change we can live with, we're all going to be basically making some decisions about how regulatory change is happening. And right about that time, we're going to see, in theory, the nationwide transition to HD television broadcast, which means that the 700 megahertz spectrum is going to open up for Verizon Wireless to start deploying LTE. So there'll be some discussion about how that's rolling along, what's going on there, and it's interesting that the FCC commissioners are probably changing just in time for that transition to occur. So it may not occur as smoothly as we want to see it, but that'll be part of the discussion. But the more important part of the discussion also is white spaces right now. And white space is turning into a very hot topic, and for those of us who are sitting there going, white space, I'm not in the advertising business, what is this? The idea is between channels, there's a lot of room for radio frequency to exist. As a matter of fact, if you ever use a cordless mic, it actually uses white space as one of its tools, which is how you can watch television and have a cordless mic and have it not interfere. So the interesting aspect is that there's a lot of people who are planning to see white space technology be deployed in rural areas. And I in a blog that will be posted on 4G Wireless Evolution in the not-too-distant future, as soon as I finish writing it, I'm talking about white space and White Mountains in New Hampshire. And in New Hampshire, you basically have two TV stations. So there's, in theory, a lot of white space for people to basically deliver internet access services in the rural areas. And that's a lot of the hope that people have. But our natural history is that people have a tendency to deploy their equipment where the yellows on the map are, where the density is. So it'll be an interesting discussion as to how white space is evolving and what's going to happen there. So that's one aspect of it. But the overall tracks are associated with infrastructure, applications, devices, and of course business models. And that's where we're going to show stuff. Plus the first day, besides the regulatory stuff, we'll have a tutorial run by Bruff Turner and Fanny Milinarski, who've done very good jobs for us in the past in terms of teaching people about what's going on in the industry. Bruff's got a history of supporting 3G technologies and GSM in general from his NMS dialogic background, and Fanny is actually very big in the IEEE space with the WiMAX side, but actually they like most of us, there's a big opportunity for blend in the wireless evolution, which is why we have it called Wireless Evolution. I got a hategram, you'll get a kick out of this. I got a hategram from a friend from AT&T who got the email blast from me and said, you're calling WiMAX 4G, you must be a Sprint, and he inserted a few expletives. And I said, even you guys are going to deploy WiMAX in your core for your 4G event. And he admitted that they were going to be using WiMAX. So the truth of the matter is, it's not quite clear where WiMAX starts, where LTE ends, and we're going to see people kind of do things in an evolutionary way. It's going to be a migration. And that's the point of the event, and that's what we're doing with the show. So how's that for a long answer for what you asked?
Fantastic. But any other exciting people that we can look forward to seeing or hearing from at the event?
Well, Rick Witt from Google is going to be there, and he's actually been the one leading the charge with the Wireless Innovation Alliance, and they're the people who basically have been pushing. As Ed Thomas will probably be there, who has been associated with building the reports. He's been at Harris and Wiltshire, but he used to be the CTO for the FCC, and he also used to work with me in the 9X days of my life, but actually I worked for him because he's much higher up than I was. Anyway, besides that side of the equation, but the point of the matter is there's going to be a lot of discussion from folks who represent, the industry, trying to figure out how to evolve and make it so that we're all building on the new platforms, the new technology that's available to us.
What kind of interest are you seeing so far in the event?
I'm getting, this is our initial launch. I'm getting a lot of great introductory emails, discussions with people. I've had some nice conversations with Motorola, Fujitsu, Qualcomm. We'll talk about Qualcomm in one of our next sets. But there's all sorts of interesting aspects of what's going on right now. And I think the most important thing is people are seeing the opportunities being kind of, I don't want to say that they're not saying that they're not going to deliver services now, but they're really trying to get their arms around how they're going to deploy in a useful way for the future, right? I mean, one of the sets we're going to do is about my wonderful G phone here. And, the truth of the matter is that when you get to a wireless internet, there's going to be a lot of things that happen as evolutionary on the apps. And as the bandwidth increases, you should expect the apps to develop as well. So that's the kind of discussions I'm having with people. The other interesting thing is that when you look in this space, people are already deploying based on different business models. For example, in Pakistan, they allow WiMAX to do voice because they don't have a lot of voice infrastructure, so they allow voice to be on WiMAX. In Korea, they're just about to start allowing voice to be on WiMAX because the viewpoint was they wanted voice to be separate and distinct. So it'll be interesting to see how things roll out in different countries, in different regions, and certainly what we see from our pals at Sprint with Zome and the Clearwire announcement that got approved this last week, and also our folks from AT&T and Verizon who have done LTE, right? And we'll ignore the fact that TAD's no longer going to be with the wizard, and we're just going to say, "Can you hear me now?" Although maybe they'll find a way to bring the wizard back into the Verizon commercials. We'll see.
Thanks, Carl. You've been with us here in the TMC newsroom. I'm Erik Linask. We've been talking to Carl Ford about the 4G Wireless Evolution event that'll be co-located with IT Expo East down in Miami, Florida, February 2nd through the 4th of 2009. For more information, visit www.itexpo.com. Registration information is also available online. Thanks very much. Thanks, Carl.
Thanks.